My name is Rachel Morrison, and I'm a cinematographer. I sort of grew up with a camera in my hand. I always felt comfortable behind the lens, and I would take the family photos, and then I would take photos of my friends, but then also became really interested in the concept of cinematography and sort of a more complete narrative in 24 frames a second and being able to tell a story, not just in the static image, but in a moving image. I went to NYU for photo and ended up double majoring in film. And actually, interestingly enough, Reed and I were the two chicks in cinematography class. I was in the photo department, but still taking cinematography classes. And I got out of school and sort of got work right away in documentary filmmaking, but then 9/11 happened. I graduated in 2000, and then after 9/11, the work completely dried up. And I started to get pulled into reality TV, which was the one thing that was sort of paying the bills, but I could still be behind the camera. And I got to a point where I said, I'm never going to do this again. All I really want to do is make narrative films. And so I stopped shooting reality and never looked back. Cinematography is really composed of camera and lighting, and the lighting sort of skill set came later and differently, but operating such an instinctive quality and to come from documentary and learn how to sort of instinctually basically dance with the camera in response to somebody else's emotion. It's a strangely specific skill set, and that was really crucial, I think, to my journey as a DP. And I feel like I developed the ability to sort of read the emotion in the characters that I was shooting. And also how to tell a story with one camera, which, I think little by little, the industry has moved towards sort of more cameras, less days, which is kind of a bad habit, maybe.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shots fired, Fruitvale. We're just trying to get home. What is going on?
Next stop, Fruitvale Station.
For me, it's important as a filmmaker not just to entertain, but also to inform and inspire and emote and evoke and hopefully to, leave the audience with a message of some kind. And so Fruitvale was sort of my perfect project because I feel like it's important and it's timely and it has something to say.
You're gonna go to Frisco, right? See the fireworks?
Yeah.
For Fruitvale Station, I think we really wanted to take almost a documentary approach and really try to explore the world through Oscar's eyes and put the audience in his shoes for the day and really try to humanize his experience of the world. So I would say we took a very experiential approach and really tried to spend time with him and do sort of single camera fluid motions and not overcover scenes, but really try to be present in a time and a place. And we looked at documentaries, like 60s documentaries, which is actually a lot of why we chose to shoot on Super 16.
You guys got plans for the night?
I meet up with the fellas, head out to the city.
Why don't you take the train out there?
We got permission from BART, the Bay Area Rapid Transit System, to shoot on the actual trains where the incident occurred. But we were only allowed to shoot while they were closed, so between 1 and 5 in the morning. And it was such a paramount and emotional scene that it didn't feel like you could kind of combine that work with anything else. So 3 of our 20-day shoot were devoted to these 4-hour chunks of shooting on the platform. So we spent those days rehearsing. We basically taped out the train platform in a parking lot and choreographed everything from the blocking to the camera movements. And my gaffer knew, like, for this shot, the light was gonna be here, and for this shot, we'll have a flag here. And we were just basically running through it almost like a football play.
What is the problem? What did you do? Oh my God.
We made Fruitvale for nothing, and so every cent meant the world to the production. And I remember, I think, approaching Gus over at ARECSC about the film, and it was really important to us to shoot on film. Producers are like, that's a terrible idea. We don't have the money to shoot on film. And so really we were like, what can we do to make this work? And that really began and ended with a donated camera package, which we were really fortunate to receive from ARECSC. DP is the best job on set. We all know that. It's the ability to tell a story through imagery and light and camera, and the longevity of sort of capturing a moment and freezing time and something that, in theory, will have a life far beyond our own. No matter what the size of the film, it always comes down to the humanity within it and, putting the audience in another place or another time, and letting them experience something other than feeling their seats in the chair of the theater.